Hello there, so I'm back, second recording, audio recording I do for the English version of this video. By watching the previous one, I was just horrified. I'm sorry, I apologize in advance for the words like actually and other words that I use as some sort of verbal crutch, because I don't really know how to express myself. So I guess the lack of vocabulary forces me to sometimes overuse some words, and I'm going to try to do my best to work on this. This will be a little personal challenge of mine. Today, let's get straight into it. I'm talking about the thing I mentioned in the previous video about how to enlarge a ring. So it was about annealing the metal, and this time it's really simple, so I thought that it was worth sharing. So for those who just happened to bump on this video and have no idea of what was the previous video about, annealing the metal is using the blowtorch to turn the metal, to heat it up basically to what I would call a dull red, as you'll see in the video when I do it with my blowtorch. And this allows the metal and the particles, the molecules in the metal to soften, because this annealing process can be used several times on a project at various stages of the project, because it is really useful to do this when you're forming metal, for instance. So it was basically why I talked about it in the video about enlarging the ring, because enlarging the ring was mostly about stretching the metal, so that's why it was really useful. I will link the video below if you want to access the link. And so now I'm basically going to show you how I'm doing this with a plain piece of sterling silver that I've used, a scrap, And so what I'm going to be doing is just heat it up with the blowtorch. I have a Orca blowtorch, which is a Brazilian blowtorch that works only with gas and no extra oxygen input in it, which is actually a very good blowtorch. So right now I'm using the basic stuff. So I'm just gonna light the blowtorch, being always very careful about the flame and the power of the flame in a way, not to kind of have some nasty side effect when you light your blowtorch. Always be careful. So now I'm going to just heat up the metal, and the great thing about this is that it's fairly quick to obtain and attain the temperature required for the annealing process. Well, what I found to be the right annealing temperature, and I thought that it was good to use the high resolution. I don't know if it's high resolution, but a good video kind of image, so you can really try to see what is the dull red I'm talking about. Here I'm showing you, this is the best distance from which the flame should be from the metal. Where I'm putting the thing is to show you that the flame has to be between blue, like the very, very light blue, and the darker blue, and this is the right distance from which the flame will be effective on the metal without doing any nasty side effects like marking the metal, for instance, or blacken it, and we don't want that. So that was it. It was pretty simple. I don't know if you noticed the switch in color. It was really rapid, really fast, and like I was saying, it is really useful to do this whether you want to work with forming the metal, stamping the metal, or any of the followings. And be sure to not overdo it, because the thing is, if you have already soldered, especially if you used easy solder on your piece, on your project, we do not want to overheat the metal by annealing it, because the solder could potentially desoldered. So really be careful with this. It has to be quick. It can be done a couple of times, and it works. It's very efficient for many things. So I'll stop on this. I wish you a good day, and I'll see you for another video. I don't know what yet.